on this panel. Everybody can hear me and everything's good?
I can hear you.
Excellent. Okay, I'm just setting up a little bit and ready to go. Okay, welcome to the mechanical licensing webinar. What we're going to be doing here is looking over our licensing documentation, our tutorials. I want to run some examples so everybody can see what we're doing. The reason we brought this up was this system went on in April of this year. Paperwork went out or letters went out showing individuals or how to get online and go through the different tutorials and the steps to take. What we see is that there's a lot of calls going on right now of individuals not knowing what to do or where to go or how to do this. We're spending time walking them through that. And it seems like if they looked at the tutorial, they'd be able to walk through it and understand that, you know, when you open up a box, put something together, you throw away the instructions and you just press on. So this is why we're putting this on, and we're going to hopefully have a few more of these where we can just go through some stuff and we'll get an idea what individuals are looking for, what people need. Okay. I want to introduce a few people. We have Bill Walterscheid. He's the manager of code enforcement, division manager. We have Jeff Carter, who is the chief mechanical inspector. We have Richard Edwards. He's a manager for IT. And we have Jacob, who is also works in IT. All right. So when we stop at different parts for questions, individuals could help me out answering whatever pops up. You could either type in or do a chat of a question that pops up, and then when we do have an opportunity to stop, your question will be brought up, and we'll also stop everything to let everybody have a chance to discuss what they need to discuss. Okay. What we're going to cover today. First thing, of course, getting the license portal. It seems like there's been a lot of questions of how to get to this portal, you know, from here to there and everywhere in between. So we're going to go through that just as a quick demo and see what's going on there. What can we do in a licensing portal? Basically any application you had before for St. Louis County dealing with license, mechanical license, that is, you're able to do on the portal. So basically what we're going to do here is go over the initial setup for accounts, and I'm going to attach the license to a journeyman. Seems like there's a lot of confusion on that. From there, we're going to look at an apprentice license and a journeyman license. Then we're going to get into adding a course that is not sponsor related. And again, when we talk about sponsor related, not sponsor related, sponsor is when you go to a class and the individual teaching that class is associated with the county. And when I say associated, I mean that they're approved through the board of examiners for mechanical licensing to provide that class. Now, if you don't have, or if that individual or entity does not have a sponsor or is part of the St. Louis County license, then you do what used to be an application for for non-sponsors, and basically we'll show you how to do that. What else we're going to do is the PEUs and classes, review those. There's two spots you have to go to. There's one spot it appears that it should be there, but it's not. And again, we'll walk through that. We'll also do a journeyman license renewal. Apply for a contractor's license and basically contractor's financial responsibility or manufacturer license, basically all the same. We'll wrap it up with a contractor renewal and show everyone how to do a contractor renewal. All right. So let's get going. This slide, what are we looking at? There's many ways to get to our licensing portal. Okay. These bubbles represent different areas, and it's not A, B, or C because it seems like people want to do A, then go to B, then go to C. Here, you go anywhere you want to go to get to our main portal page. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is representing we'll call it the interwebs. And we have browsers, the internet, whatever. You could go directly to the link right to here. You could go search for St. Louis County. You'll come to this page. You could search in St. Louis County search engine, and you can search for mechanical licensing, and you get to here. On the bottom of this page, as you'll be shown later, is a way to get to the portal. We have one issue though. That issue is we have a testing environment that is out on the internet. I please try to bring it down or close it down. I can't do it doing with how the search engine works or whatever. So when you take the letter that was given to you and you go do a search, it's going to shoot you to this page. This page tells you right there, this is a test environment for permission licensing, visit, and you click that button. It brings you right to here. Right? There's a lot of people that, and again, that's basically the same font, but they'll skip that part. They'll get into it. They'll try to create an account. They'll have a problem, and they'll give us a call saying what's going on. And that's basically our first question: is where is the link? And we give them the link, and they usually have an okay time getting through. Like I said, you could do a straight URL right into your browser. This is where you come. This is what our look is at the moment, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. But you're looking for permit inspection tutorials. From this page, you can click on there and see what is required for whatever license you're going to be inputting. If you've already created a user account, then you simply just put that in and sign in.
Hey, Ken.
Again, like I said earlier, if you just do a search here at St. Louis County ACA, you could put in St. Louis County Citizens Access, whatever you need to put in there. As far as licensing portal, wherever you go, when I did a search on St. Louis County ACA, these are the two top items that came in. If I click on this, like I showed you in that bubble, you go to the wrong page, and it's going to direct you to the right page. So here, again, this is what it tells you. This is test environment, and also here in announcements, it's another test environment. It says, hey, stop, please go to this spot. Third way is, again, going searching web, going to our site, our main page, St. Louis County. Once you're on the St. Louis County website, put in mechanical licensing. This is our mechanical licensing page, and here's the key items you're looking for. All right, it's the tutorials and the permitting portal. Yes, it's called permitting portal, but if you read it, apply for licenses and pay the associated fees, blah, blah. Anyways, you get to that location by any link. I'd stop it here for questions, but that was just information on basic how to get to our site. And if you do have a question, we'll hold it off for a little bit.
Hey, Ken.
So what can we do on a licensing portal? Right? We can set up an initial account. What's shown here is the letter that went out mid-April, beginning of May, of what was needed and what needed to do, how to follow it. We also said go to the mechanical license and scroll to the links where you can follow this. It seems that a lot of people didn't have success with this, or at the same time they didn't know their PIN number and they had some issues with their PIN number or losing this document. To set up an initial account, this is an tutorial or the license workflow. I'm not going to bore you with how to get through the work flow or anything, but real quick is it's going to be the beginning of the tutorials. I'll show you that in a second. But basically you start right on the top. Are you a contractor? And we'll say, I want to be a journeyman. Right? Am I a contractor? No. So I create an account on a licensing portal. Once I do that, am I a license holder? No, I'm not. Apply for a license, and that's the flow. Right? If you already had a license, you just drop down and you follow what you can do on that. All right, let's go down to the mechanical, or let's go on to the tutorial. We'll take a peek at that. And this page is all the tutorials for mechanical. We have general for licensing portal account, attach your license, anything that's required for apprentice, anything for journeyman and contractor. We also have items for sponsor. This came up a little while ago is basically whatever we have here is now a video, and somebody will read through this whole documentation of whatever you need, and it's broken out into one. And then from this page, you can get to your permitting portal. All right, setting up an initial account, and again, I want to show you that this is the current view, and I'll get into it in a few minutes of current view versus future view, because what we're dealing with is we're in transition. We're going to have a new look for menus. That way, hopefully, it's going to be easier. We currently have menus when you come into the system. You always have your middle menus basically in the middle, or just a little bit. This is all you have currently. And if you're a license holder for a say journeyman, either you're going to be having home or license. That's the only places you look at. If you're a contractor, you'll have license and construction permits. And just talking about mechanical, we're not going to have to deal with that. All right, let's walk through, because I don't want to spend time trying to type this, you know, 2 fingers going at it and everybody being bored. So for this is just the tutorial, and we're going to discuss. Sorry. Just,
Yeah.
I've just got a request. And I'm having problems turning off my camera.
I was able to turn it off for you, Ken. Your video's off.
I got notification that there was some chirping going on in the background. Hopefully, everybody can hear a little better now. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So, what could be done on the licensing portal? I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over and inputting information just for you to watch that. So, what we're going to look at is the tutorial for initial account. In the tutorial, basically, when you come up to the page, you could create an account from this location or this location. Once you're in there, we're going to read this disclaimer and then click on that you have read the disclaimer and you process or you keep on. You fill out your information and a little red, of course, is what's required. Username, email address, password, retype the password, security question, and that's a drop down of different questions you can select and then put an answer in. Done with that, you just continue with the registration. In the registration, what you just set up just prior to that was your account username. Here you're going to go in, and this is the information that we're going to see eventually. So the biggest part of this going through this is the applicant has to be selected. That makes the system work as intended. If you select anything else, that record's going to have a problem. So again, always select applicant. Then fill out the required information, and then you submit the form. By submitting the form, you should have a green check mark, and you have created the account successfully. With that said, there's some stuff here about congratulations and everything else. And if you have an escrow account, we have questions on this all the time. This what is called a global page. You could add stuff here, but you can't break it out for journeyman or apprentices or mechanical versus plumbing. It's basically for everyone. So we get calls on that. It just, as long as you have a good green check mark, you're good to go. Gives you some information there, and everything's good. Okay, before I talk about our current menu choices, today when I get into the system, like I said, we're updating the system, and our test environment, we have new menus. I don't want to confuse anybody. That's why I keep on saying that when you're in here to do a menu, it's always going to be a license. And for the most part, you're always applying for a license, even though you already have a license. That's where you have to go to get to a page. In other words, for adding a non-sponsored course, you go that route. Yes, it's crazy, but again, that's how the system is built to get to where you need to go. Okay, so when I'm going through this, I just want you to remember license, apply for a license. That's all you have to know. And then when I click on home and dashboard, that's just clicking on this home, and I can see my license. I can see information on what I need. Okay. So let's do a review, and I'm going to attach the license to an account. Actually, I'm going to do an initial account. So I'll make sure I'm not signed in. There we go. So again, this is a new look, but all this is going to be the same. It's just this is a little different on top, where when you go online now, it's going to be right about here. Okay. And don't look at that. Goes to the dashboard. Now, when you created your account and you come back and sign in, this is what you're going to see. There's nothing there. There's no records. There's no nothing. Okay. But you are in there. You've created your account. One second. Sorry, it took so long. I had some information I needed. I didn't know where I put it. Where went on there. So now I'm on here. I have a journeyman's license. I'm going to try to attach to this. Again, like I said before, you're going to come up to this page. Next thing you're going to do is a license apply. So in this new setup, do this. We're always going to have the general disclaimer. I've accepted above terms. Continue. And every time you apply for a license, this is where you come to. This is the page you get to. For journeyman or apprentice, basically, if you're applying for the first time, you're going to be going in here. Journeyman with a continued or individual course approval is going to go here. And then initially you have to come down to the bottom for linking up the license for your PIN. Now, again, the PIN was part of the letter you received. So once I'm here, I'm going to click on PIN, continue application. And I'm going to take note of the top here. Whatever record you're doing is going to tell you what you have. So it's PIN record, or it's going to be journeyman or apprentice license, whatever, it's going to be there. And you're going to have this linear bar. Basically, this is the steps you need to do to get through that. As we go through this further, you'll see that basically it's always going to be the same. This is just a little different because all you're doing is a PIN, reviewing, and you're saying everything's good. So once you're to this page, add a row, license number, and the PIN. PIN is case sensitive. Here, for license number, you're going to have different messages. Here, this license is about to expire. Most of the time, you can see active. It may even say expired. If it says expired, then you can't process this portion, and you'll have to give us a call. So anyways, my license number, my PIN number, and I submit. Information's in, I continue application, or I could save it for later and come back, and I'll show you where that's going to be later. Step 2 is review. So yeah, again, that's what you put in. There's your PIN number. Okay, everything's good. Get a green check mark. Your request has been received. All right, so you're good there. There's the PIN number there, but I'm going to show you where that is. Once you're done, you need to sign up because this has been taken care of, but the system has not updated. And once you sign back in, you're going to be able to see what you need. Okay, so you're on this page. This is right after I signed in. Boom, it's here. It's like, oh my gosh, I just put my PIN, but I'm not there. Next step for Journeyman, you have to update the account management. It's in a step. Management. Notice I have contact information. I've got 2 items here. I'm not going to get in the technical aspects of why there's 2. All I'm going to say is what you need to do is hover over actions, and when you see it say set as account user, notice here it says view or remove. This action is review, remove, says account owner. You're going to want to set that as the account owner. The reason I set that at the account owner is as you came into ACA, you've created a whole new contact. What we're trying to do is connect you with your PUs, because if this isn't done correctly, you won't have PUs to review. You sign out, sign back in. Make sure I don't have anything extra up here. There we go. Okay. What I'm looking at here is the PIN record I created. I don't no longer need that, but you can keep it there. This is an application I created a while ago. And again, this is only test. What you should be only looking at is if you have only one license, excuse me, is this right here. So this is what I input. This is what I have. And again, this is a test environment. I've added a few at one point, actually yesterday, and to make sure everything was working good as far as this presentation. So when I did the PIN number just now, I've created where my licenses are. Where you see that is on the dashboard. I'm sorry, my records now. And then you click on license, and that's where your information is. Before I get into the apprentice, would anybody have any questions? Was there anything that came through for
Take that as a no. So we'll move on now, and we're going to apply for apprentice license. Just want to cover a few items for apprentice license. Basically, you have option one for apprentice. There's two other options, but they're, in my time being here, I've never seen option two or three being used. Option one is basically you're enrolled in the DOL apprentice program. Items you're going to need is a photo for your state ID. You need a current photo for county license. And we're going to jump to the county license photo requirements. We're getting a lot of photos that come in that, I'll just say, are not official. We got individuals wearing hats down to their eyes where you can't see the individual. So we're going to have no hats, no sunglasses. Again, prescription glasses, of course, but no hats or sunglasses. We're only looking for a photo that captures the top of the shoulders, the top of the head, and a plain background. Don't use your state or your picture from your state ID. We've got many times where an individual will turn in their state ID. When I say turn in, either a photo or a PDF, and the other picture that's required for the actual PDF is a picture of their state ID again. Well, we can't use that picture, so we need a picture. If you're going to use your camera, your phone, some low resolution. We're looking at a max file size of 1,000 kilobyte. And I'm not getting technical here, but it's JPEG format only, JPG. And when you create that, no special characters in the file name. Please use your last name, first name, and there's no spaces in the file name. So there's an example there, Doe Gun. And again, no commas or anything. This allows us to grab that picture and create the license. Now, if it's anything other than what we just talked about, we can't accept it, and it'll most likely be sent back. And when I say sent back, in the process of reviewing, say if you don't have, or in this case, your DOL apprentice certificate, maybe there we have a problem with it. Either we can't read it, or it's blurred, or whatever the issue is. We'll request that you submit another one. You'll get an email saying, please submit, in this case, the DOL apprentice program certificate again. It was readable. And you get that by email. You just upload that through the system, and your application will be processed. With the smartphone, take a picture in landscape. So that's the phone sideways. And in my words, no social media pictures. Like I said in the beginning, let's keep pictures that are official, because these are going to be on your license. We don't need individuals that are on top of roofs and they're real small. So again, everybody gets a picture there. Biggest part, no social security numbers on any documentation that comes in. The notarized letter. Usually you'll have social security numbers on that. At one point, we took social security numbers because the documents weren't kept online. When Social Security Act and everything, not the act, but so we couldn't take Social Security. If they did come in, we destroyed them basically on the spot, and we're done with that. Now, if you upload something, it's going to be in our files. So if we see anything with a Social Security number, we delete it immediately, and we tell you that we need another document without the Social Security number. And if you have to turn in, say a W-2 or whatever you have to turn in that has a social, please just mark it out, get a black marker, and mark out the important information. Just leave your name on that. That's all we need, is your name and the information as far as your wages. Okay. I need to sign out 1 second. Okay, so what we're going to do here is set up for our apprentice license, and we're going to walk through each step that's required. And here I've already created an account. Again, it's different from the account we just used. In this new account, and I'll apply for a license. And just like what you see now is the middle. Excuse me, sorry. The middle menu will be there. Basically, click on license and apply for it. Like I showed you before, you come up with the disclaimer. Okay, I read it. We're back to this page of this is where you get around. For this, mechanical license, I want to be a apprentice. And notice this bar again. So basically, we have each, this is the apprentice mechanical license application. No matter what application you go through, this is what you're going to have. All right. Select from the account for a contact. Picks me up, my employer. And here, I just automatically filled it in. And really, this for this test purposes don't mean anything. I don't want to sit here and type, but this information would be again the employer. Uh-oh. There's shoot you a problem if it's required. Okay. So I've got the applicant in there. I've got the employer in there. I forgot to mention, it was there. Trust me, it was there. It says look up the lookup buttons to the right. You don't use that. You just add an employer and you're done with it. If you did a lookup, it's a mess. So don't even. That's not supposed to be used. And like I said earlier, with this, it's being used by other applications. So those 2 buttons have to be there, unfortunately. So I've got that. I've got my applicant. I've completed step 1. I'm going to go to step 2. And what do I want to be? This is, again, pretty easy for what needs to be done. I'm just going to take the first one, HVAC service, but like you see, you got HVAC service, pipe fitter, sheet metal, spring. And what option do I want? 1, 2, or 3? I'm going to do option 1 because I did the DOL. And just for purposes, I'm going to put a number in. Once that's complete, let's go to the next step. In the tutorial, it tells you what you need. Here, it tells you what you need for whatever option. And again, if you don't have what you need in front of you, save and come back later. All right. I'll show you that in a little while. So in this case, I'm doing option 1. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 items. My state ID, my current photo, Department of Labor certificate, and a notarized letter. So that's what's required. And here's where I upload my supporting documentation. For this, I'm just going to go in and, of course, I would have this named. And again, this is going to my computer. So here are just files that I call documents on file. So what I did is there's an option. You could go in there and do it one at a time and continue, one at a time, continue, and go in here and go back and just keep on going back and forth. Or you could upload everything at once, complete that, and now straighten out what you need. So I need the state ID. I look at my file name. I got a photo ID. My state issued ID. Mess that up. Department of Labor. And notarized letter. So now I can see what I've got. This is the type I wanted, and that's my document name. So again, whatever you call for that, you probably called that the state issued ID, and you're just looking to make sure they're correct order. Now, that's one option. The other option is doing it one at a time, because then you could say you'll see what the type is, and then you could associate that or that file here. All right, so here I got all my supporting documentation in there. Continue application. And I'm in the review mode. Seeing who applicant, that's me. Oops, employer. Okay. Application details, basically I'm a licensed category. That's what license I want, and that's my registration number. And here's all my supporting documents, and everything's looking like a match. And again, we're just looking at that. If you had a problem, then you go back and update or take care of what you needed. And again, if once this is good, you certify that you've read and understood all the instructions and everything's good to go. You click on that and you agree on that and continue your application. And here we pay fees. I haven't messed with this, but let's try it anyways. All right, so pay fees, go to checkout. $10. 14 ones, I believe. And again, this is just test environment. Just in case I don't get it right. Cross my fingers and make sure it takes it. No, what happened? All right, IT, do you have the number? Apparently, I'm not doing it right. That was for. It's 14 ones. Security is 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's 15 ones.
And I'm trying to find my chat, but I don't see it. Okay. What we're going to do, we'll just come back to this because I don't have, there we go. I don't know how many ones that is. Because somebody just turn their mic and let me know how many ones.
Again,
It looks like 15 to me.
yeah, it's 15.
That's what it was. Okay, my error. It wasn't the system. All right, so once that's input, my request has been received. Here's the application that's coming to us. Once we get that, we review. It'll be set up in this case for the licensing board meeting. And that's it on there. Let's go back to this. And let's go over to journeyman license. Journeyman license, basically the same. Oh, 1 second, it looks like we're having difficulties. What's the difficulty?
Sound still.
All right, I'm sorry, but it sounds like my video or my audio is choppy, and we're gonna connect it directly to LAN. But as they do that, I'll move forward and talk about the journeyman license. Again, the journeyman license, you're gonna need a photo ID and the current photo for a county license, and just like we talked about for apprentice, same thing. For journeyman, you have 3 options. I'm not gonna go through each item there, but there's your options 1, 2, and 3, and what is required for each one, and what PDF or picture you need. Okay. Since we just did the apprentice license, journeyman license is exactly the same thing. Do is, again, remember that the 3 I showed you earlier, the only difference for application information is your options. That's the only difference, and plus what you have to upload. Again, I don't think you want to sit here and watch me walk through that. We just did the apprentice. So, and again, the journeyman's exactly the same. Okay. All right, let's look at courses that are not sponsor related. This is only for journeymen. And again, when we go to that page, we always have to apply for a license. Yes, I know. But when we get to that page, we're going to do a continuing education for individual course approval request. Let's try that. One second, we're getting. Okay, so we just got a wire connected to my computer. Sound, and if the sound is better, hopefully. And sorry for the inconvenience. I'll log out. Make sure I use the right item, the right account. I always go here. I'm sorry. My records. Again, this is what we had before. I have the journeyman licenses. Basically, what you see here is that's what we call a legacy license. This is before our new system. Any license that comes out now, J in front for journeyman, and what license type, HVAC, and etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this license because I have a class I want to put in that's non-sponsored. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. See, I already told you what to do, and I forgot how to do it. Apply for a license. I've read it. I continue application. This you don't have to select. This is only associating for a new license, and just don't even worry about that. Oh, license is required because I got a few of them in there. I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. IT, let's say none. I'm at this page, continue education individual course. Look at there, same items that we need. I should have picked it. There we go. There's my applicant. So in here, I'm doing this. You should already have it there. The only reason I'm doing it is in the test environment, I have to select who I am because I have multiple licenses. You're not going to have that problem on your side as you do this because this information should be there. If it's not, you just click on it, but I did, and add the contact, and you're okay. So I have myself as the applicant, a licensed professional. What course discipline am I? I'm mechanical. And continue education, not select from contact. You add new, because right here, click add new button to add continue education course that has not been approved. In other words, it's not a sponsored course. It's not been approved. You come here, add new. All you have is a nice little sheet, and you just fill out what you need. You're going to be stuck with me typing stuff. So what is the education I did? We'll pick welding. Building 101. It doesn't have a course number. Something has to be there. Every class you take it, let it be online or something, you're gonna have some kind of number associated with that. So use that, if it's WD 101, whatever it is. And I'm just making this stuff up right now just to get through creating a record. How many hours did you spend in class? And sponsor name. Go to Welding U, sponsor number. From the tutorial, there is not going to be a sponsor number, so all you have to do is enter NA. Where that location is. And as you see, I'm trying to save some time and not. And they'll have a fax, the individual email. If you have it, great. If not, then you can leave it blank because it's not required. Any comments you want to leave, go ahead. We're done with that part of it. Let's continue. Attachment. We'll do it the other way here. Just want to add. Continue. Now see, it goes one at a time. So I just uploaded and we'll say it was the course content because I've already seen what I need up here. I've searched for my course content, whatever I have to show the syllabus or the description of what was happening in that class. Pick that. And one more. That was my proof of course completion. Say it was course completion. If I have any thing I want to let Tony know, I can just write in here that whatever you feel is the description if you need to. All right, it's not required. So let me save.
got that. My sporting documents, they're there. I messed up, I go here. Or not messed up, I could view details. This is what I've input. Okay, everything looks good. Continue. I'm under my review. Here's all the stuff I have. Fortunately, it says license type, but that's individual course. My applicant, me, licensed professional, course description. Yes, it's mechanical. Here's the course I want to add to my license. And just before we go any further, this shouldn't be done. What I'm doing now on the day of your renewal. For this application, it comes to us. The board has to approve it. The board only meets once a month. If you're going to do it the last second, you run the risk of having your license expire. And with the new system, you could do it 6 months in advance, right? Get things going. So in other words, don't wait for the last second to do a continuing education because it's going to take whatever your class date was. Like say if you took it today and you uploaded it, well, it's not going to go to the board until usually it's the second Tuesday of the month. And once that's approved, then it's going to get updated. So give it a little time. Board meeting may or can get canceled. So put that in your toolbox so you get your continuing education and everything then. Here's the documents I turned in. I certified everything's true and correct. And by doing that, I agree. And boom, it actually goes out and we get it. Once you get it, we're going to review it. Like I said, it goes to the board and then it gets updated in your record. And this is your course. Okay, let's look at the PEU license. We could use that same record. Basically, PEUs are in one location and the continuing education, the actual classes are in another location. And I'll show you that right now. So as I move some stuff, 1 second, please. There we go. Let's go back. I always want to hit that. I'm sorry. It's my okay, this is what we have. Again, this is your license. If you have one license, you're only going to look at one. You don't look at this license. To get to see your PEUs, you just click on the license number. With the license number clicked on, you're going to have information down here and you just basically drill down, look for more details, application information. This is your PEUs. Currently, carryover has 4. I'll get that out of the way for you. Carryover has 4, core has 16, and trades have 4. Okay, that's where your PEUs are. And again, you just click on your license number and it takes you to this page and you review what you have there as you drill down. To look at your classes, you have to go to account management. And I gotta make sure, click on the right one. Contact information, education, and don't worry about education examination. Of course, we don't have examinations. And like I said earlier, these are on that page. We can't get rid of them. Here's our continuing education. So with those PEUs I had, here's everything I've taken.
This, we just input, it's there, but again, it's not going to be approved at the moment. What I could do is look at individual classes, confirm under details, information that's needed. And again, this one was a sponsored course. That is the cores and trade for the individual types of licenses. So you just go in here and just look at those and you add those up if you need to. And we'll look at another one. And there you go. All right, all the information you need and what you're getting core and trade for that class. Okay, next is license renewal. I gotta go back 1 second. I'm putting the machine. What we're gonna do is just renew this current license. Let me get to my record. I don't think I talked about this anywhere. Again, just let's make believe we only have the one record right here. You have amendments and you have a renewal application. If you're outside the cycle, meaning if you have more than 180 days, you will not see that renewal application. Within the 180 days, there's a letter or an email that fires off at 180, 90, 60, 30, and 0. We understand people are not all the way into the system yet, and I would say please pass the word to get individuals, at least counts set up on this so they can get emails. They would have to attach with the PIN number and attach the license. At least they're getting emails from us. And in the future, what we're gonna look at is when you log in, there's gonna be announcements that pop up. So if an announcement was put on yesterday, and it's my first time in a while coming in, I'll see an announcement. There's one announcement. I click in there, and whatever whatever information we want to send up to you, it could be here. And let it be for this webinar. That's what we did. We put an announcement here saying there's going to be a webinar, and that's how we got the individuals to come out in for this. So what we're doing, we're going to do a renew application. Here's my license number. I have the one. We'll make believe, and I have to go to a renew application. And guess what's going to happen? Our same bar, our same stuff is going on. So this time it's taking that because I clicked it for renewals. Everything is there. I'm not going to update that, but if you had another employer or whatever, you'd sit there and you would edit to update the employer. I need 12 PEUs. Select. Let's see, if your course is already registered with the agency, click select from contact and look it up from your item. So here we're going to look it up. Here's my courses. That's available, and that's available. If I clicked on that, it has not been approved. It's there. You see it. But again, if we just updated that or just put that in, it's not going to be approved. If you needed that class, again, you would have to wait for a board meeting to get that approved and updating that system. Right. So again, sure you do this when you start getting the notifications that you're coming due. Right. So I've selected these items. I can look at them if I need to, view details just like we did before, and just ensure I have enough PUs. I've got my PUs there. New application. Supporting documents, what do I need? I need a current photo ID. And if we go back in this presentation, it's the items of what's needed. It's in the tutorials of what's needed. And I need a state issued ID. So I'll just add those. And for this time, I'll add first one selected was state issued ID, and this one was the photo. Things in, save it. My documents. Uploaded my documents. It says everything's okay. When I say everything's okay, it's the software saying, yes, there's no problems with this getting uploaded. It's not looking or reading any kind of document saying, oh, this is the wrong thing. We need something different. That's going to come from us through an email, right? So you pass this test of putting documents online, or not online, but putting them on your account, and we're going to be able to read those. Okay, it's a review process. We're going to look it over everything. This is our continuing education. This is what I have. Okay, yeah, that kind of confused me for a second. Required hours, completed hours. Unfortunately, this does not break it out as we're accustomed to as core or trade. Again, you looked at that at this point when we had actions in the last few pages to ensure you had the correct things. So don't let that confuse you, because I looked at it. Continuing education is good. Attachments, I've got everything I need. I read my statement. I agree with it. Pay fees. Are you gonna watch me fumble this again? Let's see. Check out. Okay, I'm getting better at this. The renewal process happened. This is your renewal application. We get that. We're going to review the documentation, ensure that the courses are correct. Everything is good. We'll process that, and you receive your license. Go back here for a minute. Show you. This record here is the record we just did. Oh, no, that's not it. No. No, it was this. Oh, it's not on the renewal. I'm sorry. I saw that renewal record. Basically, what I wanted to show you, see it here. No, because okay, I've updated it. I think I have to sign out, sign back in to actually see that. I'm not going to do that. I want to show you is, again, if I went to this. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. All right, this record, I'll have to get IT support because I'm not familiar with this, but I thought if we went to the record, we could come down and review the status of what's happening. You can do that with your initial license. Right now, I'm not sure how that collects the data for processing. And when we come to questions and answers, that's a question I have is when you turn an application in, how to review the status of that. Because I know this works with initial licenses. You can look at what's going on with the application. In other words, how it's been approved for going to the board approved it, and it's getting processed.
Ken, can I stop you
Let's
for one
look at
second?
this one. Always hit the wrong one. All right, let's look at the processing status. There we go.
Hey,
This
Ken,
is
can
what I
you
was
hear
trying
me?
to show you, and I'm sorry it took a second to understand what's happening. So application acceptance, excuse me. Don't worry about the due date. Once we accept it, it's going to move on to the next status or the next step in the process. Here, once we accept it, the board's going to review it. They're going to approve it. Then it's going to be good. So, sorry, I was confusing you because I was a little confused. Is do it one more time. My records. When I have a record in here, I can click on it. I look at the processing status and I can see where it is in the process. Okay, well, let's stop there for a minute and we'll see if we have any questions out there or anything that's been covered so far. We covered getting basically how to get to our page, how to do a apprentice, how to do a journeyman and journeyman renewal, and adding a class that was non-sponsored. So is there questions out there right now?
Hey, Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, Richard.
Can you hear us, Ken? Jeff's been asking, trying to get your attention.
I saw some text there. No, I cannot hear anybody. Double check. Yeah, I'm at 100%. All right, just somebody give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Stop the screen sharing so I could see what was going on, and I see everybody's muted that is on the webinar as far as the panelist. I don't have control of that. At least I didn't think I did.
And are you able to hear me?
I don't see anybody talking. I'm just gonna keep on going and go over contractors. And for whatever reason, I don't have any speaker, or I don't see anybody getting turned on. I see Bill just turned on his. Everybody's, Greg, I see that you said that I hear you, so I'm not sure if you can hear other individuals. See some individuals coming off of their mic, but I do not hear you.
Ken? Ken?
I'm looking at my computer and everything is okay. So I'm just gonna press on with the presentation, and we're gonna look at contractors. And did somebody capture the questions that came in off the text? And if you could relay that once we're done with this licensing portion, we could give a few minutes to go over everything. Maybe I'll jump on somebody else's computer here to see why I don't have any volume. All right, but to move along, let's do contractors, and let me share my screen. Okay, with all that interruption, what we're gonna do now is look at applying for contractors license. Basically, like I'm showing you, when you get into contractors, basically the same thing. You follow that linear line, go through it, and I'm only gonna do a contractor for demo purposes. Financial responsibility, manufacturers, basically the same of what you need to upload. For contractor license, you have to have at least one individual following credentials. You have three options. One is coming from an individual license under the plumbing code. Option two is a degree in civil engineering and mechanical, or I'm sorry, civil engineer or mechanical engineering degree. And option 3 is a minimum of 3 years of verifiable training and experience. Supervising at least one journeyman. With that, we have a couple types. Hopefully everybody's aware that for a contractor, you become a mechanical contractor that requires at least one pipe fitter. Sheet metal contractor requires at least one sheet metal journeyman. HVAC service installer contractor requires at least one HVAC service installer journeyman. And then you get into residential, the same thing is you need a residential service installer journeyman. And finally, for sprinkler fitter contractor, you need, of course, one sprinkler fitter journeyman. Financial responsibility, that's used when a permit is required and you're exempted from requiring a license. In other words, elevator work or amusements, fireplaces, letters, such as that, and all that is in the ordinance. And of course, manufacturer manufactures equipment. Let's check this out. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta drag this around a little bit. What we're gonna do is exactly the same individual I had. But now I want to do a contractor's license. So this is what we had earlier. What I want to do is again, apply for what? Apply for a license. And do what I wanted to do. There we go. We've seen this throughout the afternoon. General disclaimer. I've read it. Sorry, I went so fast there. I did non-applicable because I'm doing a new license type. And in here, I pick what I want to do. So since I did a journeyman, or I'm sorry, HVAC service installer, let me pick. Oh, I was in the wrong spot. There we go. Again, this is where they're at, contractor, financial responsibility, or manufacturer. Look at there, we got our bar. So, things we have to do. Okay, so what do we have? I want a new contractor's license, or I could replace a journeyman mechanic, or I could replace officer of the company. That's options for contractors. So if I came in as using my current license, I could do one of these. What we're going to do is going to do a new contractor license category, HVAC service installer, and the 3 options. I'm going to say that I have 3 years of verifiable experience. We'll move on. And the same thing, I mean, we're back to the applicant, and there's a few updated things here. Let's go slow from account. Officer of the company, and that could be you, that could be depending on the size of the company and how it's set up legally. That's what you need there, a licensed journeyman. And since I'm doing that, if you notice, I'm the applicant, I'm the officer of the company, and I'm a licensed journeyman. That's acceptable as long as you have the hours and stuff. And again, each application is going to be different as far as what is required there. So I'm not going to get into, you know, what an officer of the company is and everything. We're just, for this presentation, I'm just going to say that I want to start a new contractor. So that's all selected. Go next. supporting documentation. If you notice, there's a bunch here. I read each one off, but I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on here, I need the plumbing. I have a degree and an individual with 3 years. So this is the main section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. And what I picked, 7. So I need 7 items. Again, I could look at the tutorial. It's going to tell me what I needed. I could get out everything in advance, and now I'm ready to upload everything. To save a little bit of time, I'm just going to click everything from here. No particular order, but again, when you do that, ensure you're selecting the right item for what is being requested. And what I ain't right, but we're just gonna do all that. I think I got all 7 of them. Now what I need first, I need the state ID and mechanical. State ID. Mechanical work. First one, miss it every time. There it is, notarized letter. Okay, so I've got 7 items that match this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And let's see if the system likes it. Yay. So it's grabbed all the attachments. Again, we can look at each one if we needed to. View details. Once those are added, continue application. Review time. License type, application details. I applied for a new contractor's license as an HVAC service installer. And there's my option, minimum 3 years experience. All the information I just plugged in and all the documentation I needed. And I review that, I check, continue application. Fees are due. I've got a green check mark, says request has been received. Here's the application, TAL, MC, APP, and a bunch of zeros and a 2-1. So now that goes, we received that in the county. We review all the documentation. We get that set up ready for board meeting. And after the board meeting, we update saying board approved, or if the board needs any documentation, or if we get it back and we say, oops, we don't have a notarized letter, you sent in to, I don't know, to the same file. So, and then good to review before you turn it in, make sure that's the items that are requested and that's what you have available to send us. And once we get that, like I said, it's processed and you'll get notification by email. Actually, you get notification email for any step that we talked about, let it be apprentice, journeyman, or renewing or something. Every step of the process, you get dinged with the email. Just to let you know where you're at and also where you can look it up. That we did the everything here. I'm going to hold off on contractor renewal at the moment. What we need to do is in the background, we're updating that license and when I bring that open again in a little while, we're going to have a license available to us and we can walk through the renewal process. Since I don't have no speakers on this thing, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to go to another computer who could hear us or could hear, and then we can take on any questions or anything from that point. And hopefully that'll work.
Everybody, I'm back. I messed around with my settings here to try to get some speakers. If somebody could open up, see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Ken?
No, I see Richard come up, but I didn't hear anything. I'm gonna try another audio
Okay.
speaker. I changed it. Can you try one more time?
You able to hear me?
Okay, that's interesting. When I did this yesterday, I was under another monitor, so maybe it's issue with the monitor. I looked at my settings and I looked at everything there. And no matter what I pick, I can't get a speaker. So I think that at this point that individual is gonna update that renewal if it's completed. Let me just take a peek to see if it's already done. And what I want to do is log out. Okay, if I'd open, it looks like I'm still waiting to get that renewal action going on, so I'll get out of it and we'll give it another 2 minutes if everybody could stand by patiently for that. As we're waiting on that, basically it's the same thing as oh, there, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's my license, that's my application. Here's my created new license number. And as you can see, what through I believe that it's been 3 years later. I've created permits on the system and everything. I can see my permits. Now it's time for renewal. My license, just like a journeyman renewal, same thing. Click on renewal application and follow that along. Same thing. Look at that. We're going to need information that's already there. What is that? I have no button there.
Screen's not shared.
Oh, the screen's not shared. I was told. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't share the screen when I stepped away. As you heard, I don't know. I don't have speakers. I'm using a different monitor. I believe that the monitor I was using had speakers in it. I don't know what's wrong with the laptop, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sure we're going to have another one down the road, and we can go from there. What I was showing for contractor renewal, it's basically the same as a journeyman renewal. And I'm trying to get it. There we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing.
So what we're looking at is this is the record that the application that was created for mechanical contractor license that was processed. And right now this is the license number. Like I said earlier, you're gonna get notification through an email, your certificate and everything will be coming through the email and notifying you that you have a license and this is your number. Once you have that, you could use this to renew. And like I said, for Journeyman earlier, from 180 days out to the last day, you're going to get some emails, and this is when this renewal application is going to be available. So you can renew from there at any time. You could also do amendment. The amendment is going to allow you to upload any continuation bond or a new insurance certificate. We require those once a year. Individuals say that it is continuous until the company closes it out. Our policy is we need a continuation bond once a year. And then also that with your continuation bond or your insurance, if you have your third party send that to us through mail, you're going to have to start loading that documentation through this process here. This creates a record that attaches to your license, and everything's there available. Real quick, let me just hit the amendment button and let you see what we have. And I'm looking for it right here, mechanical contractor amendments. If I need to upload a certificate or certificates, of course, the bond or the insurance, and if you need to change your licensee. Again, straightforward. You click on that, go through it. It's more of just uploading documents. So I'm not going to really show you that process. Back to the license page. Here's the license number, renew the application. And again, it's the same process. You're going to do your contact. You're going to upload your bond insurance like I've done on every license. Basically, first items to be uploaded, review that, pay, and we receive that. You're going to get it at the end. You get the green check mark. We receive it. We review. We update, and you'll be notified of your license renewal. And there's about the contractors who have already sending us a certificate of insurance. Please start uploading that when you receive it. And the other part of that is if it expires, then your license stops. You won't be able to get a permit or anything until this part is updated. Okay, so what do we do? Besides me not having a speaker and a few ins and outs we had. So what do? We looked at the portal and how to get to the portal, what could be done on there. We went through the multiple items we could do. We were attaching a journeyman's license. We did a apprentice and journeyman license. We updated or we added a non-sponsored course. We reviewed our PUs and the classes that we took. The journeyman license renewal. We applied for a contractor's license, went through that stuff, and we renewed it. We did the walkthroughs. Again, the biggest thing from the beginning is when you ready to upload something, or when you're ready to do renewal or to get a license, ensure you just look at the tutorial
just to review that, jot down some notes, what's needed, get that all ready. You could, and it show you that as you're going through the process, you get to the documents and you go, oh geez, I don't have this document. In the lower left-hand side, it said save and continue. So you would save that. And then when you got the document and you created that, everything's good, you come back and then you would process that record all the way through to the end. With that, if we have questions and answers, and again, I think we should open up the mic for Jeff. I could go to Jeff's office and we'll get some feedback there. Right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we can talk amongst ourselves to see what we need to look at, or who has questions on getting something done.
Does anyone have any specific questions?
Jeff, did you see the question in the chat?
Yes. The new version, I don't know when it will actually go live with that. I don't know if Richard could answer that, or if there's a planned date. Another one of the questions is, can we come into the office and renew our license in person? Unfortunately, no. It's going to have to be done online through the ACA licensing portal. Brandon, if you want to email me your license number, I can take a look at your license just to make sure that everything is okay with it. As far as renewal and all that, I'd be more than happy to take a look. Kylie, right now, it does not send something out once it's approved, but I will chat with IT about being able to add in some kind of communication is once I approve it, approve the license, that an email will go out for that.
And Jeff, earlier we had a question about the uh, the password for the account and how they would know the question. Um, when the account's set up, the password challenge question is set up at that time. You have a choice of 6 to choose from. You pick the one that you want to answer and put the answer in. My suggestion from experience is both of those items need to be written down somewhere. Inevitably, not only is the answer forgotten, but sometimes the question that's challenging is forgotten. And it's also case sensitive, so sometimes people will answer with like the capital letter for each word of their high school, and then they'll type it in when they're trying to do the challenge, and they'll put in lowercase.
Also for people in here, I know he went over it, but it was one of the things that we run into on occasion is when you're renewing your license to add to this again that you do not check the carryover box. If you do, it's going to give you an error. That is automatically figured into the overall PUs if needed. So when you're checking all your classes within your time frame for your renewal, you do not check the carryover box. I don't know if anyone has any other questions they'd like to throw in the chat.
Okay, Jeff, I am up and I just heard you. What I did was I disconnected the monitor, the second monitor, and communication or my speakers back. So everybody, sorry for that and trying to work around that and giving the presentation a little slip up there. Now Jeff was going through the chats to do the questions. Is there anything else out there that we need to cover, since I was kind of trying to fix this thing?
So I haven't seen any more questions come up on the chat. If anyone has,
Jeff,
yes.
we're trying to get the mics opened up for the attendees.
Okay.
The only thing we ask is that we get a hand raise so that we can go through the list. We not have chaos with everybody trying to ask questions at the same time. I am told that we have the mic, so if anybody has a question, there is next to the share button a hand raise, and Jeff or I will ask anybody that wants to present a question.
And Richard, I don't know if you heard me a minute ago. I got my speakers back when I disconnected the monitor. I'm good now, and I just heard you say that, and I haven't heard anybody else. So we're gonna give it maybe 30 seconds. If I don't hear any response, I'm gonna close it up. And I want to thank everybody for taking the moment and look at this and get an idea what needs to be done. Sorry for some of the problems we had with my sound and doing what we had to do in some instances. I guess if you email Jeff, and if you want more detail of a certain item, I think we can provide that. Appreciate your time again. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for attending. Of course, you guys can always email me. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to try to get to you. Again, patience just because of the amount of phone calls that we do get for questions on this. Other than that, thank you again for joining us and have a good evening.